are off, guys. Check my question. Good. That's fine. Very well, thank you for joining us. This is Opinion 2017. On the 8th of August, Kenyans of all walks of life lined up and turned out in large numbers to vote for their preferred leaders. Now, events prior to the tallying of the votes give a picture of a peaceful election with massive turnout. However, events after the voting have led to a discussion. A lot of people are saying they will never vote again. So engage us. Let's have a conversation. What's your opinion? Will you vote again? Joining me in studio is Wilkista Katksi. Karibu sana. This is a lady from Moderator 4A T area. And of course we have Jeddy with us here. Jeddy, karibu sana.
Asante.
And of course another lady, Letitia Achieno from Moderator 4A T area. Now, Letitia, ni yapi yalijiri baada ya kupiga kwa kura? Maana nilikuona kwenye runinga ukihojiwa na namshukuru Mungu kwamba umepona. Ni yapi yalijiri? Na je, utapiga kura tena?
Okay, ilikuwa Saturday asubuhi.
Naam.
Around 10 am.
Naam.
Nilikuwa kwa nyumba na bomoa nywele mimi.
Naam.
So suddenly nikasikia watu kuna commotion nje. Watu wanabang milango wakifunga.
Naam.
Nilikuwa kwa nyumba na kazini yangu. Mom. Aya, madha kaniambia funga mlango na ndani juu nasikia watu wakifunga mlango. So tukafunga, nikaendelea tu kubomoa nywele, tumekaa kwa nyumba. So kidogo nikasikia mlango inagongwa. Ikagongwa mara ya kwanza haikufunguka, ya pili, ya tatu hivyo. The first time wakaenda. Kidogo tena tuko kwa nyumba tena wakarudi. Wakagonga ya kwanza, ya pili, ya nne, mlango ikafunguka ikaingia ndani. Wakauliza kwa wapi mzee? Nilikuwa nimekaa hapo karibu na mlango, nikamwambia father alitoka akienda job hajarudi. Wakaanza nyinyi ndio mnawaficha, tukaanza tu kuchapwa. Yeah.
Na ulipelekwa hospitali?
Yeah, nilipelekwa hospitali. At first nilipelekwa Doctors Without Borders, MSF Isli. Wakanifanyia first aid, then the following day nikachukuliwa na Red Cross wakanipeleka Nairobi Women's Adams Arcade. I was admitted for a week, nilikuja Monday.
Unaweza kupiga kura tena?
Kupiga kura, it's not that sioni. To be sincere, cause tulipiga kura vizuri and tukangojea matokeo very patiently. But sasa after matokeo Kenya ulikuwa unatarajia si Kenya unapata. Alafu kuzidisha, apart from hiyo Kenya ulikuwa unatarajia your expectations, bado mnachapwa, See.
Very well. Before I get to you, Wilkista, I just want to make a disclaimer that we have express instructions, so we are not discussing anything to do with a petition before the Supreme Court. Wilkista, ni yapi yalijiri?
Ilikuwa tarehe 12, ilikuwa Saturday, saa 4. Nilikuwa na watoto kwa nyumba, tunataka kunywa chai. Naona watu wanapiga makelele, wanafunga milango, wanapiga kelele, wengine wanalia.
Ndio.
Msichana wangu mkubwa akaniambia, mama, pia sisi tufunge milango. Tujue chenye inaendelea ni nini. Sasa makelele nje na watu wanafunga milango, nini inaendelea? Sasa tungetoka kwa tuone nini inaendelea. Pia sisi tulifunga tu mlango tuone nini inaendelea. Wakakuja wakapiga teke mara ya kwanza. Tukasema funga na watu gani waka hapa. Tukasema tunaweza tukafungua tuchape pesa tumeogopa. Wakapiga teke mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili ikaingia ndani. Kuingia ndani watu kuniuliza chochote. Walisema sisi ndio tulipiga kura. Sisi ndio tulipiga kura. Sisi ndio nini tulipiga kura. Wapi mzee? Wapi mzee? Wapi mzee? Sisi ndio tunahesabu kura, naanza kutuchapa. Sisi ndio tunahesabu kura. Sisi ndio tunahesabu kura. Wapi mzee? Kasema mimi sina mzee. Sina mzee kaanza kunichapa, wanachapa huyu msichana wangu. Pia mimi wananichapa tu wapi mzee? Ati sisi ndio tulihesabu kura. Sisi ndio tulihesabu kura.
Naam.
Tuambie hivyo.
Kwa hivyo I'm seeing comments coming through. I will be reading them shortly. Isaiah Shilenje is saying audio. I think my technician is already seeing that. Eunice Gichana is saying, well, let us pray for Kenya. We're only getting started. We haven't gotten there yet. Wewe, madam, tabu hii, wewe ulipiga kura kama Mkenya.
Yeah.
Ulifanya upande wako. Maana katiba inakuhitaji wewe kama Mkenya upige kura. Isinga ilikuwa ni uchaguzi, haya hayangekupata. Unaweza kurudi kupiga kura tena?
Hapana, siwezi kurudi kupiga kura kwa sababu bana kura ndio ilifanya tukapigwa.
Jeddy.
Yes.
Will you vote again?
The truth of the matter is I must vote again.
Why?
Because when I look at it, I know that, you know, definitely what they're saying is true. You can lose hope and you can lose courage. But I'm a very positive person, and I know always at the end of the tunnel there's light. Because we look at different scenarios, like we look at even in Nigeria, Buhari was in the opposition. He tried for so long, and there was and I don't know if there was stealing or whatever they were doing. But people could have lost hope. Yes. But they still went in the last election and voted, and they won.
But look,
yes.
There is a feeling. A friend of mine was telling me in the morning that election is beginning to become a disruption to normal life. I mean, if you go to social media, there's a third world war. I mean, friends who are from different tribes and probably aligned to different political coalitions are no longer friends. I mean, families that have cross marriages from different tribes are facing serious issues. So really, they're asking, is it worth it?
Truthfully, I believe it's worth it, because, you know, they say one thing: the truth is something so powerful that it can even make friends enemies, it can make lovers enemies, it can tear about anything, because sometimes the truth is fragile, but we must be a nation who stand for the truth. No matter how painful it is, if the truth can make two friends not talk again, it means that friendship was never meant to be.
Very well, David Ochieno, you're saying I will vote again, and again. Beatrice Johannes, election is a fraud. Je, madam, kuna mtu anasema kwamba hii mambo ya uchaguzi ni karata ya patapotea. Kwa kimombo anasema fraud. Je, unakubaliana nayo? Kabla yaliyotokea na kwanza pole zangu pokea. Kabla yaliyotokea, ulipokwenda kupiga kura, ulikuwa unahisi kwamba ni karata ya patapotea, ama ulikuwa na matumaini ya kuchagua kiongozi na kuashiria uongozi ambao pengine utakupatia matunda mema?
Nikienda kupiga kura, nilikuwa na hiyo hope ya change.
Ndio.
Nilikuwa najua nikienda kuchagua kiongozi mwenye naenda kuchagua anaenda kuletea change. But after hizo votes zilikuwa tallied, waka announce results, hapo ndio aish.
Just a quick one. Churchill from Garissa is saying, we were surprised and we are not sure if we are going to do it again. John Nyamwawa is saying, there is no justice in elections. And Ombui is saying, our rights, we want our rights to vote protected. Do you feel that your right has been violated? You voted, did you?
Yes, I voted.
My ink is still there. I'm not seeing yours.
No, I got mine here. I already filled it off.
Really? Are they conscious of people who manicure? Come on.
Yeah, even mine. Yeah.
Oh, even yours?
Yeah.
Were they just doing that for ladies?
Yeah, some of us because of the nail polish. If it's on top and the nail polish chips, then yeah.
Okay, very well, yes.
Yes.
The question is, do I feel that I'm violated? I feel very violated in the sense of I voted and my vote should count. But in it still not, even if what has happened and what is happening, I still believe my vote counts. I feel violated, yes, but my vote counts and my vote should count, and it is my right to make my vote count. That is why I have to stand up for what I believe in. If I know I voted and I believe that the system did not count my vote or they manipulated it, it is my right to make sure that vote counts.
Wilkista, wewe ulikuwa unataka nini ukienda kupiga kura? Kuna watu walikwenda kupiga kura kwa sababu watu wa kabila yao walisema wapige kura. Kuna watu walikwenda kupigia kura watu wa kabila yao. Kuna watu walilipwa kwenda kupiga kura. Kuna watu walipiga kura kwa sababu ilisemekana kura inapigwa. Wewe ulienda kupiga kura kwa sababu gani?
Kura huwa tunapiga tukipigia watu waongozi, watu wenye wanaweza kutuongoza.
Naam.
Kenya mzima.
Naam.
Na tukienda kupiga kura tunapiga kura tukijua tunapiga kura tunapigia kiongozi mzuri mwenye atatuongoza Kenya mzima. Lakini sasa tukivoti hivi alafu baadaye tukuje tupigwe kama sisi wa mama watuingilie kwa nyumba tupigwe hivi, tutafurahia tena kupiga kura tena?
Lakini sababu yako wewe ulipigia watu wangapi wa kabila yako kura?
Mimi si kupigia watu wa kabila yangu kura peke yake.
Ulipigia kura viongozi uliona walikuwa wanafaa?
Viongozi walikuwa wanafaa. Sina kabila.
Jeddy, should we change this whole thing of voting?
Honestly, I don't think we should.
Should we probably have an electoral college?
No.
There are countries where a council of people, eminent persons, sit and make decisions on behalf of the people. Should we, or should the electoral process just remain the same?
I believe that the truth of the matter, we cannot have that a few people are the ones to decide who our leaders are, because her vote matters, her vote counts, who she decides to be her leader matters. They've used intimidation on many of the voters, like them, in the sense of they were beaten and they're losing hope, and that is what they want. They want people to lose hope so we can give our rights away. But we must know it is our right. It is our right to decide who our leaders are, and whether they use intimidation or what tactics. People must still have hope in the electoral system. Maybe there should be some changes in the electoral system done to protect the voters' votes, but people should still vote.
Hillary Ikatwa, you're saying no need of voting. David is saying Wilkista asiseme hata piga kura kwa sababu alipigwa. Inafaa hiyo impe motisha zaidi ya kupiga kura. David anasema wewe ukisema hupigi kura ni kwamba umekubali kukandamizwa. Wewe kupigwa inafaa ikupe motisha zaidi ya kupiga kura. Musa Chekai, future elections will be determined depending on how we deal with the current situation. Otherwise, there will be total voter apathy. Tukienda kufunga sasa, wewe unatazamia nini kwa Kenya ya siku za usoni kwa haya mambo ya kisiasa? Ama kutoka leo umefunga, hutaki kusikia, hutaki kujua ni nani kiongozi au anachaguliwa vipi? Maoni yako ya mwisho. Nauliza hivi, maoni yako ya mwisho. Unatazamia nini kwa siku za usoni? Je, utataka kusikia mambo ya siasa tena, ama kutoka sasa wewe usihusishwe na wala hutaki kusikia?
Mimi hata sitaki kusikia maneno ya siasa kabisa. Vile nilipigwa bado niko na maumivu.
Naam. Dadangu hapa. Je, kunayo nafasi kwamba kuna siku roho yako itapona, utasamehe na utasema kwamba niendelee na mfumo huu wa kupiga kura, au unaweza sema tufanye vipi kuchagua? Maana viongozi lazima wachaguliwe. So either tunapiga kura au tuwe na mfumo mwingine. Kwa sababu pia kuna nchi ambazo ziko na mifumo mingine. Nchi kama Uchina haina uchaguzi, lakini kuna viongozi. Waona vipi?
Yeah, okay, unless something is done this time around. Maybe unless justice as in nini kitu ifanywe kwa hao leaders wetu. Something to change my mind, maybe. But to evil, I don't know.
Jeddy,
Yes.
your closing remarks.
My closing remarks to Kenyans is that they should not lose hope in voting. They should not give up on voting. They should know their vote counts, even if there's a corrupt government or corrupt people or people who are using intimidation tactics to make people lose hope in voting. They should not give up, because it is their right, and there's nothing worse than your right being taken from you. Because once it is taken from you, we will come to regret it. Things might not be as we want now, but we will continue fighting and hoping that things will get better. Definitely.
So we fight on and hope on. Just quick comments. Richard, S. Presidency must be devolved, where 47 counties determine a president through an electoral college system. Beatrice Johannes, well, I'm not going to read this. This is we are not having the secession debate. Sosten Arab Belat is saying, unless something radical happens, voting is a waste of time. I'm looking for somebody who's saying we need to vote again before we wrap up. Musa Chekai, elections have become a cause of problems in African states. Very well, stay on. We are taking a short break, and when we come back, firebrand politician, Embakasi East Member of Parliament, Babu Owino, is going to join us in this discussion. This is Opinion 2017. Don't go away. Wow. Paul.
Mwangaza bila wasitotaka, mabadiliko bila unavyoweza, tuwe salama, wewe pia wajibika, ni mtoto wa kika, baba yuko mbele. Twasawazisha mabadiliko, twasawazisha mabadiliko, badilisha. Mwangaza bila wasitotaka, mabadiliko bila unavyoweza, tuwe salama, wewe pia wajibika, ni mtoto wa kika, baba yuko mbele. Twasawazisha mabadiliko, twasawazisha mabadiliko, badilisha.
Thank you and welcome back. This is Opinion 2017. We are joined by firebrand politician, Embakasi East Member of Parliament, Babu Owino. Welcome.
Thank you.
And he's sandwiched between two beautiful ladies. Of course, Jeddy was here earlier. We are joined by Lucky Okudo. Welcome, Lucky.
Thank you very much.
Let's pick up where we left it at. And just before that, I have a comment. John watching from Helsinki, Finland. Thank you for watching. Please do share your opinions on our page. And of course, let's have this conversation. Let's have you roped in as well. So, Mheshimiwa,
Yes.
first things first. Congratulations.
Thank you.
somebody was telling me when you were walking in, when I say that Babu Owino is going to be here, and somebody said his steepiness. I don't know what that means. So, elections, I mean, Kenyans are expressing themselves. There is a sense of apathy and despair that there's no point of voting. Is there a need of voting? Do we need to continue to persuade people to vote, given that you also have an experience in these immediate elections?
I think, Buddy, as a nation, we are so disappointed. Talking not from a political point of view,
yes,
or not as a politician,
yeah,
but also as a voter,
mm-hmm,
who went and voted,
yes,
for his president, who is the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, and also voted for my MCA.
But Babu, are you?
I want to explain first.
I hear you,
on
but
the point of a voter.
Okay.
Yes. Now, as a voter, I felt disappointed because of the computer-generated results, which further generated the leaders. And now, if we are going for another elections in 2022 with the kind of setup that we have, then Kenyans have no reason to go and vote. And I predict and I can foresee that there will be serious voter apathy. People will not turn out because by the end of the day, the people's choices are not what is on the ground. The people's choices are in the computer.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want us to get into the nitty-gritty. We have a petition before court, and I mean, we must give the court space and room to do its work. So I don't want us to get really into the nitty-gritty of that. But you say that then if status quo remains, although there is no clarification until that case ends of what truly transpired, then Kenyans will not have a reason to turn out and vote. Is this case different between the presidential and parliamentary?
I think when I talk on behalf of Embakasi East as a member of parliament elect, I think when it comes to the parliamentary election, there were some discrepancies, even not on the parliamentary but on the presidential. Now coming back to the presidential, because by the end of the day, a person who is coming to vote, voters who are going to vote, so at times they don't even know the MCA that they're voting for. They don't know even the MP that they're voting for.
So are people doing 6 piece?
But they know the president that they're going to vote for. So we at times we are being voted in by the fact that somebody came to vote for a specific presidential aspect.
And because of that,
so this thing affects, it affects all the other positions. So in my view, I think 2022 casting your vote will not be worth it, even for a member of parliament, because you are choosing a member of parliament of your choice, but with a president of your choice, and the president is denied his right to occupy the presidency, the office of the president.
That is still being pursued, as I said.
I've not touched the court issue. I'm just talking about the what happened during the election.
Well, but the subject of the petition is really around the presidential elections. Lucky, will you vote again? Did you vote, first of all?
Yes, firstly, thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah.
I did vote.
Yes.
This was my second time voting. I'm not a first-time voter.
Okay.
I didn't vote in 2007,
Mm-hmm.
but if you look at the last three elections, and last three meaning 2007, 2013, and 2017, where we are now,
Mm-hmm.
there have been irregularities.
Mm-hmm.
2007 was a stolen election. It was a rigged election.
Mm-hmm.
2013 the same. And now we stand here in 2017 with the same result, and you ask me a question, will I vote? As of now, I will not vote. And I don't see the reason to vote. Because what is the point of voting, as Honorable Babu Owino has said here, if we vote for our leaders, but the leaders we vote for are not the ones who are displayed. So everything is being manipulated.
Well, I'm not too sure if the scenarios are exact in these three elections. As you say, perhaps we need to look at every case individually. But
the denominator is the same.
But
they are stolen elections. That is the denominator. So that is the trend that has been seen from 2007 to where we are.
If then, it begs another question, which I'm trying to avoid to get into. But if then you will not vote, you will not vote. You will not vote. All these people commenting, most of them are saying they will not vote. So how will Kenya get its leaders? Because we've got to have leaders. Yeah, because you see, at some point we were at Mlolongo. At some point we were at Mlolongo, and Mlolongo gave birth to the reform movement of the early 90s, led by the likes of Orengo, the likes of Gitobu Manyara and the rest. Because Mlolongo, somebody will line up, and you have the longest line, and they just bring Lucky and put her in front of you, and she becomes the winner. So are we progressing? Because we have a digital system which ought to work. So,
you know, Buddy, we need not to shy away from the fact that we have to exercise our constitutional right, which is voting.
Yes.
And we need not to shy away from the fact that the system has to be cleaned.
Yes.
Now, we need not to run away from the fact. By the time you're telling me that we should not discuss an issue because it is before a court of law, personally, my own opinion, not the party's opinion, I'm allowed to discuss anything because this is what I feel. I voted for my president, and now nobody can gag me not to talk about that issue because it is before a court of law. When it comes to this issue, the system has to be cleaned now. Kenyans must come out and clean up this system because it is not about Raila's presidency. It is not about any other person's presidency, but it is about the future of this nation. By the time we are not casting our votes, we are destroying our future and the future of our kids.
Electoral reforms. How else can we push forward? Because reform is a continuous process. It is not it's not a finality. It's not a one-off event. Some people are suggesting, and I was just listening to people in town, and some people are saying, why can't I be identified by the BVID and then I just go and click on A or B? People are saying SportPesa transacts billions in a day. There is no day you bet on Manchester and then you're told in the evening, sorry, your bet went to Arsenal. And these are Kenyans doing this. What is it that when it comes to the electoral process, that even systems will spend money and time building just can't work? So where do we take the reforms moving forward?
From my point of view, the first step, personally, I believe would be transparency, in the sense of we're now having an electronic voting system, and there needs to be transparency in the sense of agents from all the parties should have access to that particular access to maybe the electoral system. In that sense, there would be a sense of transparency in that we do not say, oh, who hacked in, who logged in. If something like that happens, then we would know because the agents who are IT specialists involved in the electoral system can talk. But we cannot have an electoral voting system, but the only people who have access to it is one person, the IBC people. Then how do we trust? I believe transparency is the first step. Yes.
Collins is saying 2022, I will be busy sleeping. After that, I'll probably watch a Man U game. It's not worth voting. Mary, reduce presidential powers further. Increase powers of governors. That way, we will have our votes count. Do we devolve power to the lower tiers to perhaps do away with the excessive competition at the top?
I think Babu is not about devolution of power because power, even a person who's elected at the Nyumba Kumi initiative, the chairman, feels powerful. So it's not about devolution of power because by the end of the day, even if a person wanted to rig being a village elder, he just rig himself in. So I think it's about coming up with proper electoral reforms. My first idea is that the presidential election be separate from all the other 5 elective positions. That's one.
Done on a separate day.
Done on a separate day. The second reform is that the commissioners, the IBC commissioners, the people who should constitute it, should come from the United Nations. I think that way there can be some.
They should be non-Kenyans, should they be Kenyans working for the Kenyans?
But they should come from an independent body because this is not an independent body. This is a body that is controlled from State House by the presidency. Why? Because during the selection of these commissioners, we know what happened. For example, the chairman. And names are taken to the president to select one person.
But it went through parliament.
It doesn't matter. The parliament had numbers that was favoring the president. That was the Jubilee government. So either way, even if a dog was chosen to be the chairman, the parliament would have passed it.
Babu. No.
But he makes a very
It's not going to pass to be the chairman.
Okay, you know, okay, we need to be careful not to be talking of people who are not here to defend themselves.
Now, I've said if a dog was chosen to be the chairman, the dog would have been our chairman.
Yes, but
Because they have the numbers to pass that dog.
True.
And you saw what the dog did.
No, we cannot equate the IBC chair to anything less than human.
My friend,
But
that person has the mean.
I think that's a discussion.
Our inherent and inalienable right.
That's a discussion.
Enshrined in the Kenyan Constitution.
That's a discussion for another day. But also, you have to agree with me that we need to maintain some level of civility and decorum as we engage. We cannot begin calling people names. Lucky, you're something pressing.
Yes. Firstly, I don't believe he called him a name. All he did was look at the situation present and analyze it and say, where is the independence in the Independent Electoral Boundary Commission? That is what we need to be asking ourselves. And yes, I agree with him when he says, the first thing we need to do is separate on election day. Let us have a specific day for the presidential ballots, for the days where somebody comes and casts a presidential vote, whether it's a month prior, if it's a week. We can look at an array of countries around the world and what they've done with this. And when it comes to the selection of the commissioners, one thing we as Kenyans must come to the point and understand, and painfully, regretfully say is true, is that the rot in our society and our moral values is part of what has led to where we are now.
So if the analogy Babu is saying is that perhaps Parliament led through particular persons without proper, are we not questioning the moral standing of parliamentarians themselves? Just hold that thought as I get on to our viewers' comments. Fahima Gabu. Babu don't accept to be sworn in until no. This is another thing altogether. Caroline Naman saying this is Kenya. Even if somebody came from the UN, they will still read. We had international observers, and I don't want to go into that because I think it's also part of the case. They were not Kenyan, but their verdict was a bit. So I mean, are we going to get people from Mars? Because we take it to Parliament, you're saying Parliament did not do their job because of tyranny of numbers, blah, blah, blah. We had the Senate, I mean, we had these people even grilled by ESCC. I mean, it's a long, rigorous process. So I don't know.
But you see, Babu, ESCC, the director or the chairman is appointed by who?
Well, eventually the appointing authority is one, but there are all these other levels.
And we know the political games that goes there. So there is nothing that it's God who appoints these people. It is the president who appoints these people. Therefore, whatever the president wants shall be given unto him and how he wants it.
But you're going into Parliament. You'll be sworn in sometime next week, I guess.
You know, we're not going there, but we'll discuss it.
Yes, that will be my last point with you. But you will be in that house. Are you then saying that you being in that house and perhaps if numbers remain, if the tyranny, the so-called tyranny of numbers remain as they were, then it does mean that it's parliamentary dictatorship?
Of course, that is what is going to happen there, because look at some of the bills that were passed in the previous parliament. You could see parliamentarians, MPs are fighting each other. That was it meant that there was discontent. There was people didn't agree with what was being passed. And why were they passing it? And they were boasting around saying that we have the numbers, we can pass anything. Which means this nation today, if they want to pass that we want a specific community or a specific tribe or specific people to be non-Kenyans, they will pass it in parliament.
There's a quick comment here. There's a quick comment here before we get to Lucky. We should adopt the electoral system of South Africa. I'm not too sure how different it is from ours. I think this is Babu. This must be your voter, Babu for president 2022. that is something else. That is something else altogether. Lucky.
Yes. What I wanted to mention and talk about was you've discussed parliament is opening.
Yeah.
This is a message to the parliamentarians,
Mm-hmm.
to all MPs in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You are put there and elected to play the role of oversight.
Yes.
Play that role. Oversight means, it doesn't mean connect to what your party ideologies or what your leader says, but follow what is right by the people who put you in those positions of power. The people who elected you. They want to know and they want you to be accountable. So it has nothing to do at the end of the day with the numbers. But you as a parliamentarian, as a representative elected by the people for the people, work. Work diligently, yes, and do it very faithfully. And actually, you've mentioned the comment somebody just made now and said, Babu for President 2022. That is something we need to be discussing, because all parliamentarians have the opportunity to come out and stand up very strong for this case. But from the very few, Honorable Babu is one of the very few who has come out to stand up very strong for this. And that's why people need to realize this transcends, it's bigger than just 2017. It's bigger than Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. This is about the future of the Kenyan people. In 2027, somebody is going to run for president. They want to know the ballot is free, fair, and credible.
Mheshimiwa Babu, there was an experience you were complaining about. Your certificate after being declared winner. What was the story?
Actually,
And how frustrating was it?
Baggy, I think these IBC people, they had specific people in mind before even printing the ballot papers, because what happened in Embakasi East, the returning officer, who is also a member of IBC, decided at first time, he decided to butcher, to defile, to rape the sovereignty of the people of Embakasi East.
Babu, we can use... no. Hang on.
How else would you say rape? It is just rape, it is an English word.
I agree with you, but I don't think we have to...
I want to have that image. The way
I have grasped it, and I think our viewers
the
have
way
grasped
they were doing
it. It doesn't have to be more graphic than that. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Now, this returning officer, after I'd already tallied my results, I had already won, and what he did was quite funny.
No.
He gave the MCAs their certificates, signed them. Then when it came to my certificate, he said that we have to go to town. To the
You have to go to the headquarters.
Me and him, to go and get the certificate.
Is your certificate that big, or what's the difference between every other?
There was something which was being planned, but I think they wanted also to slaughter me. You know, they were fattening us so that they slaughter us while we are fat by trying to tell us that.
So did you eventually go to town? What happened?
Now, me, I didn't go to town. Me, I told him that he was not leaving that place until he brings that certificate.
I remember there was an issue with Governor Joe's certificate.
Miraculously.
Yeah.
Yes, the certificate just appeared from nowhere.
From nowhere.
And then after that, again, there was a problem with the stamp. That the stamp is missing. Now we have to come to town again to look for IBC stamp. But you see, those were just games that this person was playing, because personally, my opponent was very close to the deputy president.
Well, no, Babu, but we are not going to go into that.
Let's you what was happening.
No, we have just lucky. No, I understand, but we have grasped it. But you also have to agree with me. The rules of natural justice. We cannot be discussing. If he was here, the DP, then well and good. He will be able to respond, or his representative. Quick one, Ali Daddy. If I can wake up very early in the morning just to go and vote, then somebody else decides who's the president, no need of voting in 2022. I'll be sleeping and waiting for the computer to announce. That's your opinion, Ali. Imagine Kenya already has, no, I can go there. We embark, Kefa Orori, we embark on Mlolongo style. You look with your naked eyes, even you know who has won. Let everyone remember, God is watching for the greedy kind of gaining power. Now, I'm not saying anybody is greedy and anybody is doing anything greedy to gain power. Okay? We must remember, we must remain as objective as possible. You had something pressing, Lucky, before I get to Jeddy.
Yes, actually, when you talk about the objectivity and you talk about the elections, you ask yourself, are Kenyans aware all of the viewers watching, are they aware every single Kenyan, it costs up to $25 US.
25 USD.
25 USD per person just for this election to take place. Now, let's compare this regionally. Let's compare this around the world. Rwanda just conducted the election.
Yeah.
How much is it costing per person per head? About $1.
$1?
Yes, so we're
$25.
Yes, so we're talking about an independent electoral body that beyond only not overseeing and carrying out their work from conception to implementation, they are also corrupt. So you're eating the Kenyan people's money and you're also not serving the purpose that you're supposed to be doing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, I cannot I cannot say too much about whether they are corrupt or not, and if so, to what levels. But I do agree with you that elections are a costly affair. Jeddy, then I come back to Mheshimiwa. Cost. You know, sometimes I also empathize with elected leaders or aspiring leaders. Any person you meet, mweshi takwaje. And mweshi takwaje is a transaction. So perhaps election in Kenya is ridiculously costly on both ends of it. Jeddy, yeah. You had something pressing before I come back to Mheshimiwa. The cost of elections. Is it prohibitive? Does it mean only a preserve of a few people who can have a certain threshold of money can run for seats?
Well, I believe that on that aspect, because it plays two-way.
Yeah.
I myself was an aspirant and I saw what was happening on the ground. Because also on the ground, the people who you're talking to, the voters also want to eat your money. They believe this is their time, it's their right, it is this time that they'll only eat from the people. So they also expect these people who are running for office to have money to give them, otherwise you don't get their vote. And that is what I was trying to tell many of the voters when I was campaigning. That you eat someone's money, where do you think they have gotten that money from? When they get into power, they have to replace that money.
How successful were you with that argument?
I was very successful to the point of the people who wanted to listen to the truth and who want to really, you know, accept.
But are they many?
Even if it starts with 5, let me tell you, it grows and we pass the message across. We have to make sure that the leaders we're putting there are leaders who are not bought. That way, when they get in there, they're not corrupt and they try to eat the money to replace the money they used trying to persuade the voters.
Lucky, closing remarks.
Closing remarks.
Should we continue voting? Should we lose hope? Will you vote again?
Closing remarks. Let's hit the drawing board. We have a system that is not working. Let's not pretend. Let's hit the drawing board and understand the aspects that are not working. Do we need to scrap the entire independent electoral body? Do we need to bring in somebody else who will manage this? Let's ask ourselves the questions we need to be asking ourselves. We cannot go do the same thing the same way and expect different results. We cannot do it.
So we proceed with electoral reforms.
A whole, I don't know what you'd call the mothership of reforms, but an entire sweep, yes.
Mheshimiwa, closing remarks, and as you close, swearing in, there was talk that some of you will not attend it. What's your position?
Personally, as Babu Owino, I think we should not attend. I don't think if I will attend the swearing in on Thursday.
Why?
Because of what happened. It has been put strategically so that we legitimize the presidential election, which is I know you want to tell me that it's before a court of law, but
well, I have to.
I'm telling you my reason. So you don't comment about it, but let me talk about it. Now, when we look at what happened in the presidential elections, it was a sham, okay? There is no need of swearing in to legitimize it on a Thursday, while Friday there will be a major ruling at the Supreme Court.
Well, I don't see the relation of the two processes, but you say on your part, you as Babu, you are
I will carry the cross.
So you will not attend the swearing in until after the
Babu Owino, I will not.
Closing remarks, Mheshimiwa. Should Wananchi continue to have faith in voting? You are a product of our voting and Wananchi voting. Embakasi is at least.
I think we should not lose the sight of a gazelle for dashing squirrel. These people are
no, say that a bit slowly. I didn't hear you.
We should not lose the sight of a gazelle for a dashing squirrel.
Okay.
These people now, they are squirrels. We still have a future, but, and we need to clean the system for the future, not for now. So my issue is that we clean the system, let all Kenyans come out. When we call them, we clean up this mess, then we will vote in 2022. Because elections in Kenya, they're always free, but they're never fair. Okay?
Well, that is Babu Owino's opinion. This is Opinion 2017. Just one last comment. Muziki saying voting has become a big joke in Kenya. And why can't we change the voting machinery in Kenya? Just very pathetic. Thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you very much for your very valid comments. Let's keep on having a conversation. Let us share and let us be one another's keeper. And until next time, at the Swahili say, alamsiki. Hey, lucky. You should not lose the sight of what?
Tuwe salama, wewe pia wajibika. Mtoto wa kika, baba yuko mbele. Twasawazisha mabadiliko, twasawazisha mabadiliko, badilisha.